Hello and welcome back to the Golf Shenanigans podcast. This is episode 8, our PGA Championship recap. We have decided to actually do a recap of a major or any event in general. Um, we kind of left you guys hanging. We didn't know if we were going to come back. We were definitely going to come back for the U.S. Open draft, but here we are. We are down a person. Carson is in Mexico for his father's wedding. Uh, uh, Best wishes to the bride and groom over there. But we had a great day watching this PGA Championship. It was a lot more fun than we thought it would be going into it. I guess, Andrew, you did not get to watch it. You were working.
Yeah, Walla Walla Country Club member this weekend. Kid was putting in a lot of hours at the good old job, but I did see bits and pieces. I was frantically checking the leaderboard at any time that I could to see if I was gonna maybe try and win. But we'll get to that a little bit later in the episode.
Yes, this was a big day for everyone in the Andrew camp. Josh, were you able to watch today?
Yeah, I caught a good amount of it. I had some stuff going on this morning. I think I missed like a chunk of the middle of the tournament.
That's where it
Um,
got good.
yes, yes, it was. But I was keeping close tabs on it. Then watched the rest of it on my phone. And then played golf right after. So,
Oh,
um,
you went out today. Where'd you go?
Cedar Crest,
Heck, yeah.
good old
Was it
Cedar
wet?
Crest. Way less wet than you'd think for how much it's rained lately. So that was a pleasant surprise. The greens were like pretty soft. They like rolled okay, but they were pretty soft.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean the golf today I think delivered. It was sort of like Masters-esque. There was a lot of like ups and downs. But Scotty is just he is Thanos. He's the Thanos of golf. You can't beat him.
Inevitable.
We uh we saw this coming, right? I mean, I know I picked him to win in our preview or during our draft. I think who did you guys pick? I forgot.
I think I picked somebody random. I uh, I was like, I don't want to pick Rory and I don't want to pick Scotty. I think I actually picked
Did you pick Ludwig?
Well, I'm pretty sure I picked Ludwig. And I honestly I have
Nice.
we haven't heard from Ludwig at all. Like over the last, I don't know, I feel like month or at least since he won the
He
Genesis, right?
literally had a putt to take the
Yeah.
lead at the Masters on the 16th hole, if you
Hmm.
remember,
No,
before
I don't,
he went like
unfortunately.
bogey quad to finish. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
a
Oh,
tough pick.
right, yeah.
Missing the cut for my team. That was tough. Josh, did you pick Scotty?
I think I gave like sort of two answers. I said like my brain says Rory, I think I said. But then my heart wanted Jordan to win, but you
Oh.
know, Jordan did Jordan things.
I don't know. I don't know why we believed it would be anyone other than Scotty winning. If if you just, get in a time machine, go back a couple weeks, he won by 8 in his last appearance on a golf course where you can't separate, where it's designed for everyone to be bunched and have a really fun or a really tight leaderboard at the end. He won by 8. And we're going back to another tour course at Quail for the PGA, and it's like, oh, I don't know, Rory, he might be the favorite. It's Rory Country Club. No, no, it's always Scotty. It's always going to be Scotty. If he's playing well, he's going to beat everyone every time. I don't know why it was ever a debate. Andrew, great job taking him number one in the draft. That was a super smart move there.
First actual good pick by me in the Golf Shenanigans history. Um, and I heard actually Smiley post a clip today, Smiley Kaufman. That's a fun listen to that pod. But he was like, he made his pick on Tuesday, which I had no idea because I didn't listen to the episode. But he was like, I feel like Scotty's just due. And when I picked Scotty, I want to quote my friend Carson here. He said, chalk. And I was like, wow, I really hope Scotty wins so I can bring this up in a podcast. And I don't know. He was due, and as much good as Rory has been playing, I just it's so hard to win back-to-back majors, and especially just like he kind of took some time off there, didn't really play, I mean, too incredibly much golf. But yeah, it was always Scotty. I mean, the 8 shot win there, and just to see how he had the putter going was great to see. And I in the few shots I did see today, I was texting the group chat. I think he was on like 14 or something like that. He hit, no, sorry, I think it was 15. I really don't remember what it was, but he hit an 8 iron from 175 to like 12 feet, and I was like, he like didn't even care. Like he just flipped it in there like it was nothing. Like it just looked so effortless and easy. So yeah, it
Yeah,
was
there was some
cool to
point
watch.
today and over the weekend in general, where he just kind of found the Scotty golf swing again. Obviously, in that front nine was a bit touchy. He just pulling every driver and just kind of being just off. And then at the turn, he just found the golf swing, and then he was, prime Scottie Scheffler again, and just impossible to catch. Uh, whenever he, whenever he's playing or swinging like that, I don't understand how it's possible to ever beat him. He's literally turning into Tiger Woods. Like this is what Tiger Woods did. Not as flashy as Tiger Woods, but as far as just suffocating the competition with just golf shot after golf shot, maintaining a lead. This is now three tournaments or three majors where Scotty had developed a big lead and kept a big lead and won with a big lead. And this, I don't, who else has done that other than Tiger?
I think on the coverage today they said too that like out of his 15 wins on tour, 11 of them he had a 54 hole lead and he's 11 for 11. Every time he has a 54 hole
Wow,
lead, he just wins.
that's unreal.
Yeah,
So
Uh,
because he doesn't hit bad shots. He doesn't give the field the opportunity to catch up to him. Somebody has to go out and shoot 59 or something.
mhm.
no. And even when like today he came out and made like a bogey first hole, he just doesn't give a fuck. He just bounces back. He you can't knock him off his like you can't knock him off that Scotty plane that he's on, and he just rides it and he cruise controls. His mental toughness is really something else. I
I was
don't
gonna say that his mental game is stronger than anyone. He's been asked multiple times in press conferences, like, "Do you have any goals? Do you have any like aspirations in the game of golf?" And every time he's just like, "No, I just want to hit the next shot as good as I can. I'm focused on the task at hand." And he will never answer that question any differently. And it's just so robotic and just it's just terrifying. It's like, how are we supposed to beat somebody whose only mission is to just do the job in front of him as best he can every time, and he doesn't let himself think ahead or dream about anything. He's just the only thing that he's thinking of is just destroying you right now.
I think that's what I mean. I think like Teddy has helped him out with so much as far as like the bounce back in the mental game because like we've seen him get pretty frustrated and stuff like that. But I mean, especially I mean he talked about it today. He was like, "This is like one of the toughest like wins that I've had so far as just like grinding it out and staying in it." Um, and I like how Avery kind of talked about how he like almost lost his golf swing a little bit there on like towards the end of the front nine, and then as soon as he got the hot dog at the turn, he just seemingly was back, and just absolutely seated two drivers that would just were perfect on 10 and 11. And it was hole 11 that he hit that 8 iron from 170 to I think it's 12 feet. I got it up here. It's a 475-yard hole, and he went driver 8 iron to 15 feet. Like, who in the world does that? So I mean, he didn't even make birdie. Like he just made an easy par. But Avery texted when I think just right after Scotty made that bogey on 9, and he was like, "Andrew, you like, are you nervous?" And I was like, "Well, if there's anybody that I want to like hold the lead, it's fucking Scotty Scheffler." And Avery was like, "Okay, cool, whatever." Well, and then Josh was like, "Oh, getting hyped up," because then Rom was kind of making his little push there, and I was like, "Oh, it's okay. Like Scotty's fine." And then I watched him hit that iron on 11, and I was like, okay, Scotty's winning. That's cool.
he just wins by 7.
It's
At
so
one point him
unreal.
and Ron were tied at 9. He won by 7.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous, and we'll probably get a little bit into it more throughout the pod. But I thought it was so interesting, like how many guys just like had a legit chance, and then Scotty still ends up just winning by five. Like, and he bogeyed the last hole too. Like he could have kind of pulled a Masters and four putted again. Like
Did,
guy just doesn't care.
when he won the Masters the second time, do you remember if he parred the last hole or not? Because he's had massive leads on in every major he's won, and he could have like tripled every single one and still won. I do you know if he's parred the 72nd hole of a major yet? That he's won?
I feel like he parred it, but I don't really remember. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I really hope not. I would love to keep the streak going of he can't possibly figure out how to par the last hole of a major that he wins.
Hmm. Yeah, that's an excellent question. Yeah, I feel like we've yet to see him sort of have to make one. Yeah, in 2024 he won by four and won by three. So yeah, I don't think he knows what it's like to have to make a putt at the end of a major.
Sorry, I had
But
to let my cat in. She was freaking out at the door.
something about Scotty that's so fascinating to me too is that he draws all these Tiger comps and like deservedly so, but just how different him and Tiger are in terms of just like how they achieve like their mental toughness. And Tiger is, trained by Navy SEAL. His father is like a cold-blooded killer. Um, and Scotty just wants to like go take a walk with his wife in the stroller. That's what he thinks about. And he's like,
Well,
it's just
he said in his press conference that he might be the best compartmentalizer in the history of the world. He said when he's on the golf course, all he cares to think about or wants to think about is golf, and when he's home, all he wants to think about is his family and whatever else he's doing. That's all he wants to think about. He doesn't want any distractions. He doesn't allow himself to be distracted by anything, no matter what he's doing, which is incredibly difficult. I don't understand. Maybe he's just saying these things because he wants to believe that that's what he's doing, or maybe he's actually capable, like he's of just focusing on one, mission at a time and literally not allowing any wasted brain space or brain usage or whatever on anything else. So I, I've never really, I can't relate. I don't know what that's like. I'm constantly thinking about everything and everything while I'm doing anything.
Yeah.
yeah,
Scotty did par uh 18 when he won the second time.
Dang it.
So unfortunately we can't keep that streak going. But it's so crazy to think about, like, because like I've done that, like playing like nine holes, like just going on playing, like playing really well and whatever. But to actually do that on the biggest stage in the world in front of millions of people with millions of dollars at stake, and I know he doesn't give a shit about the money, but like all that's in your head, and like around 20,000 people with all these grandstands hitting a wedge over the water or whatever it is, having a downhill 4 foot slider that's breaking right to left that I would miss every day of the week. Like it's so impressive to me, like how steady and how calm and how he literally just does not give a fuck, man. Like it's so impressive to me. But I don't know. We can
yeah.
kind of sit here and dwell on that all day.
I wish I could plot myself into his psyche and just sort of like ride with him mentally throughout the round today. Because
Mhm.
it doesn't seem like he gets nervous. Or I feel like I was probably more nervous on the first tee of my round at my local muni than he was with the lead at the PGA today. Really, like I
Crazy,
genuinely
crazy
believe that.
comp, crazy comp, but I love it.
Like, because I play little enough golf these days to where I get the first tee jitters now. I get
That's
genuinely nervous,
that's tough, man. That's tough.
which is just straight silly, but
That's
I want to
golf though,
go
huh?
I want to go back to something I think Andrew was talking about earlier, where he just wins by a lot and he hasn't, or maybe it was Josh, he hasn't had to really prove it down the stretch of a major yet. Um, Granted, today he completely blew it on the front, and it was tied after I think his ninth hole, something
Mm,
like that,
yeah.
and he was forced to kind of respond. But at the same time, everyone, Rom and everyone else, kind of just collapsed around him, and he just kind of stayed steady. He did make three more birdies. That was a great response. But yeah, we've never seen him like when he got to the three hardest holes of the golf course, he it was over. He just all he had to do was not make two doubles, like
Yeah.
he didn't have to hit the super hard shot under pressure. Um, and I mean, you do end up getting to that point where you have a super pressurized shot at some point in all these majors, no matter how much you win by. But yeah, that's I guess that's the one thing is like he hasn't had to deal with something crazy at a very hard golf course uh before. And I'm excited to see what how that would play out at a place like Oakmont, where if you hit a bad shot, you're really worried about what the next shot is going to bring. Same with most open courses over across the pond. So that's something to look out for. Because yeah, he's a front runner. He hasn't chased anybody down in a major before. He's gone into the final round with the lead all three times he's won, and he's finished the job every time
Yeah.
with a huge, huge margin of victory. So,
I feel like though like he's been able to do like at the last players that he won was like a prime example. I think what he shoot like a Sunday 63 or something like that to win.
and
And then
yes, yes,
and another one was the Olympics when he shot the
hmm
was it the 29 or something like that to go and win. I think it was another 63 or something like that. So I I feel like if we do get in that situation where he does have to chase somebody down, or go wire to wire with somebody, I feel pretty damn comfortable with that. Like I'm not really
hmm
sweating that at all.
yeah. I bring that up just because there's not a whole lot to talk
Yeah, it's
about in
there's not
terms of like
actual yeah like
kinks in the
major
armor.
proof. Yeah, exactly.
The other thing that I would bring up, and I don't, it's not even like that big of a deal about Scotty in majors, is that he doesn't like randomness. We
I
saw that.
agree.
We saw it at the U.S. Open last year. He hated the waist areas at Pinehurst. He was like, "Oh, it's a roll of the dice when you go in there." And then I think he just had kind of like this pissy attitude about it
Hmm.
all week, and he didn't play very well. Um, and you kind of get that all the time at the Open. I will say though, at the Open, he's played in four of them, and he's top eighted in two of them, and he hasn't missed a cut. I think he's finished T21 and T23 in the other two Open. So it's not like he can't play there and hasn't played well there, but that is kind of, if I were to say, hey, this course might not set up well for Scotty, it's because there's a bunch of randomness there that he might not be able to mentally get over.
He definitely has a type. Like he likes the prototypical American golf course. Perfectly kept, trees, sort of target golf. Like
Hmm
that's his style. Like and with the major being at a PGA Tour course, we should have just seen this coming. But
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Don't worry.
there absolutely is something too when things get a little bit random. He doesn't he struggles a little bit. And like Pinehurst, yeah, last year was a prime example. He just seemed very frustrated, like flustered almost.
Hmm.
Um, Sometimes I have this wild theory that the grass, it's kind of silly, but the grass at the US Opens and the Opens, like especially like a place like Pinehurst, really burnt out, really short, fescue grass. Then the Open, obviously, very different type of grass. I feel like maybe it could change his footwork a little bit. Do you think there's something to that to where his feet don't slide the way he wants?
That's a
Definitely a possibility. I mean, it's a
that's a very
yeah. Honestly,
fascinating theory. He's
that's
won
wild.
15 times though. I can't imagine. I have to imagine he's won on a pretty wide variety of grasses. Although I would be hard pressed to imagine one of them is like fescue.
Yeah.
What if we just look at his wins and it's all just at like Quail Hollow and
I mean,
TPC
he's
Sawgrass,
got
like
to
all just
be
basic golf courses, or not basic, but you know what I mean.
the POA king, the bent grass king. I bet he putts his best on bent grass. I put my best on bent grass. You get like the smoothest roll of all time on well-kept bent grass. I don't know what Quail has. I'm pretty sure I would imagine it's bent because it's they're trying to like recreate Augusta there. So I imagine they use the same grass. They literally ship in pine straw. There's no way there's a bunch of pine straw around there naturally.
Does have 3 European Tour wins, so or sorry, 4. So that's just
European Tour, they like to play at a bunch of like Americanized, whatever that means for them
yeah.
courses. They don't do a lot of links golf over there, which is really sad. Um, but yeah. Anyway, I wanted to ask this or bring this up and then ask you guys a question. Um, maybe start a little game. But Scotty's, if you guys have looked at his Wikipedia and looked at the Wikipedia yellow and all of his major finishes, or have you looked at that before, first of all?
This is crazy because I literally to look up his PGA Tour wins. I'm on Wikipedia right now. So, well, I'm gonna disqualify myself from this contest. Judge, what do you
Well,
got?
no, it's I wasn't gonna ask like how many times is he top 10 or anything.
Okay.
It's just amazing. It's just a wall of yellow with
Yeah.
some green spatters. Uh,
Yeah.
he's played in 23 majors. He's made 20 cuts. He's top 25 in 18 of these 23 majors. Top 10 in 14 of the 23. Top 5 in 8 of them. He has 8 top 5s in 23 majors. I don't have comparison stats for other players, but I'd imagine the only other guys are that would look like this is Jack, Tiger, and a bunch of dead guys. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
He's
He's got 2 or more top 5s or top 10s in a major every year since 2021.
that's unreal.
God.
And he's only got 3 like in all of the majors that he's played in, he only has 3 missed cuts and 3 wins. Like that is absolutely ridiculous.
He's played in 6 PGA championships. He's missed the cut in one of them, and then his worst finish outside of the cut is T8. T8, T8,
Oh my
T4,
gosh.
T2 win in the
Complete
PGA,
nonsense.
That's
which makes sense.
ridiculous.
I typically the PGA is like the closest thing to a PGA Tour event out of all the 4 majors. So that tracks. He's top 10 in 4 straight Masters with the 2 dubs. You know,
It goes back to Josh's theory with the grass, man.
So I did some research into all of his victories on tour and what the grass types were on the fairways, at least. And 10 out of 15 were on Bermuda.
Interesting.
Yeah, they do play a lot of Bermuda.
He had 2 on Zoysia and then 1 on bent grass.
Okay. Well,
Interesting.
the Masters is they have bent greens.
Yeah, but Pinehurst is probably like fescue fairways, right?
I don't know, probably, but I don't even I don't know. He didn't seem to enjoy playing there very much. He didn't seem to have it either, but he's kind of one of those guys where I think if he doesn't have it, I don't know if he's really gonna grind it out. He's just gonna kind of be pissy and just finish T30 or T20. He finished T41 at that US Open.
Hmm.
And that's like a course designed for him to be awesome.
Apparently Pinehurst number 2 has a hybrid Bermuda grass. So
Mm,
maybe my theory is tarnished. I don't know.
Wow. Josh is just a little
it's
bit different than
tarnished.
all of us.
Well,
I
you
was
know,
hoping
when
to
he's off a
dispute.
little bit, obviously his putter is a little weird at times, but when he's off, it's usually with the driver. He'll just be missing fairways. And obviously, US Open, if you're at Pinehurst, if you're going to be missing fairways, you're going to have a lot of dice roll lies. At least at Oakmont, granted, the rough is going to be nuts. You know what you're going to get. So he should be prepared for that. But he's also just like, when he's on, he's like the most accurate driver out there.
Yeah.
So I
Something he
saw this
doesn't
fun.
get enough. Oh,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say something he doesn't get enough credit for too is his short game. Like his chipping is just incredible. Just incredible. It doesn't
Yeah.
it nobody focuses on it because he's so steady and he really doesn't miss many greens, but I mean his chipping is incredible.
Well,
And
Like
he's
that's
like the top five driver of the golf ball in the world. He's the best iron player in the world. He's the best chipper in the world. Like he doesn't miss greens, but when he does, oh yeah, he's the best chipper. And he's figuring out the putting a little
yeah.
bit with that claw grip. So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
just
it's
like, what are you supposed
interesting.
to do?
It's interesting to see though, like I mean, it goes back to like Josh talks about how and like you guys both talk about how everything is just so well rounded and stuff like that. I mean, like his par five scoring average is the best on the tour. I think it was last year and it's probably somewhere up there this year. It's just because he's so good at just hitting it up, hitting a decent shot around the green, and then just getting up and down. So that's just how you the recipe for making so many birdies, especially just on par fives, is just playing solid, well-rounded golf and missing it in the right spots as well. I noticed today when in the few shots that I watched, if he was missing it, I mean he left himself just about as simple as an up and down as you could leave yourself with some of the pins and the lies and stuff that he had. But yeah, he's just straight surgery at all times. So
We've
it's
been
unreal.
we've been glazing him for a long time now. I have two more things before we move on. One more. What were the first thing? Is he gonna win at Oakmont? Just a quick yes or no.
Bryson's turn now.
I don't think so.
No,
I
no for
think
both of
so.
you.
Yeah, I just don't feel it at Oakmont. I don't know why.
He
Maybe
was
I'm
the
just I had a
clubhouse
bad taste
leader.
in my mouth
He was the
from last
clubhouse
year.
leader at Oakmont in 2016 as an AM. He
No.
had one of those early tee times. For the first round, he had one of the earlier tee times. He got
Okay,
in
okay.
at one under and was the clubhouse leader after the first, or at one point during the first round.
He won
Um,
low am that year too.
yes, yeah. So, but also Bryson was semi in contention. I
It's
wouldn't say contention, but he played really well that year too at Oakmont. So
yeah.
we might be coming up with a duel if Bryson can figure out some of these
Oh,
irons, which will take us to the next. No, sorry, I had
You
one
have one
more
more. You
Scotty
have one
thing.
more.
I had one more Scotty
We're
thing.
not done glazing Scotty yet,
I
folks.
have
We're
one
not
more
done.
Scotty thing too, actually. That isn't
Two more.
glazed.
Come
That
on,
isn't
bring them all.
glazed.
All right, you go first, and then I'll go.
Oh, okay. Something I was thinking about today with Scotty is that I can't remember the last time that somebody won a major with the claw. Can
What are you talking
anybody
about?
tell me?
Colin Morikawa.
Phil on the
Oh,
71st hole at
could be.
Kiowa with for one putt.
He clawed on the 71st hole at
You
Kiawah?
remember that? He
No.
said that his lie on the green, he needed to pop the ball up in the air a little bit more on his par putt. So
I
so
think
he
I
went to
think
the
Colin.
claw.
I think it was Colin at when he won his Open and probably his U.S. Open as well. Or no, sorry, his PGA. Sorry.
Okay.
Mm,
I
okay.
did not think about that. But you just don't
Uh,
see it too often. So,
Fitzpatrick.
shout out the claw, I guess.
Is Fitzpatrick claw? He just seems like a guy that would do the claw.
Patrick Reed?
No, Fitzpatrick. Sorry.
Fitzpatrick, Fitzy,
Oh, I don't
who
think so.
showed out this week. Nice to see signs of life from him. But the last thing about Scotty, I wanted to start this little game. It's not original. Other people do, other podcasts do this, but I want to keep like a historical record of this now every time we do one of these episodes. How many majors will Scotty end up with? And I want to hold everybody accountable. If we end up doing this pod throughout for years and years, I want to be able to go back to like a spreadsheet and be like, remember, yeah, Josh, you had Scotty at 9 majors or something, and oh, now it's 2032, and he's only at 4. Uh, or whenever we get to another player that we get excited about, and we hand out a bunch of majors to them, it's like, well, how many? We only have so many majors to go around, you know. So I want you guys to think short and hard about this answer.
I think
How
I have
many
my answer.
majors does Scotty end up winning? He's 28 years old.
Yeah.
You would imagine he's got, assuming he stays healthy, um, he's got, 10 to 15 more years of quality golf ahead of him. A bunch of that is prime.
Josh, you
I'm
want to
gonna
go first?
yeah, I'm gonna say that he'll end with 8. He already has 3. He's 29. He has 10 to 15 years left. Like he's already averaging a major in sort of like this run that he's on. Well, my thinking is that he just has to hit a dry spell eventually. Like, ask people back in like the mid 2000s if how many majors Rory would end with, and they would say 10 to 15.
Yeah.
But he just went on like a 10-year dry spell.
Still in
It
play.
just it has to happen to Scotty. It has to. An injury or just
Does it
something
have
falls
to?
off.
Does it have to? Because this is a
Historically,
type of golf
yes.
that we haven't seen since the guy who won 15.
But even for Tiger, like his life was derailed. Like there's so many factors.
He
I
Yeah, but
think
did. Tiger
I
did win
don't think
all of
Tiger's
his
gonna be.
majors in a 10-year span,
yeah,
basically. So there is that. He did win 197, didn't win another one till 2000, and then, um, or did he win in 99? I don't know. He won
I
197.
think he won in
He
'99. Yeah.
he won one in 2019, obviously, but like the bulk was like 2000 to 2009. That was all of it,
Hmm.
or 2008. Uh, so so Scotty he's already 4 years into this run. This is going on year 5 now. He finished T4 in the 2020 PGA, but his run really started in 2021. So
I
he's
just
going on 5 years now of just playing awesome, awesome golf. Like basically Tiger levels of golf.
just 5 more majors is a lot to me. Like that's Rory's career up to this point. Like I just I have a hard time grasping him getting
But
past
you,
there. And you'd have to
but you,
think like
but you
golf
just
will
gave him
get
eight,
deeper.
right? You said
Huh?
eight?
Hmm.
You said
Yeah.
eight? That's still a lot, but
But that's
it
like
could
he
be,
has
it
10 to
could end up,
15 years left. That's like averaging a major every like 2 years from here on out. Like
yeah.
I
That
think
seems doable. A major every 2 years for the next decade sounds almost low. Uh,
I
yeah.
mean, what he's at right now, right? Like it seems
that
crazy that
is,
we're putting that cap on him when he's just dominating golf. Like, yeah,
he's top 10 in 8 out of the last 10 majors. And that's only 2 wins. That doesn't include one of his other wins.
Yeah, I don't.
But yeah, Andrew. So Josh is at 8. Andrew, what are you
you know,
thinking?
I originally my original answer was gonna be 10, but then kind of after we started talking about all this, I think I'm gonna bump it back down to like I want to say 7, but I think I'm just gonna go with 9 because I feel like he's gonna do something kind of like Tiger, where he just like randomly clicks when he's like a little bit older, and just wins this random. I mean, I feel like he's always gonna play well at Augusta just because, I mean, it's we're talking about Quail Hollow being Rory McIlroy Country Club. It might be Scheffler National here pretty soon. Like, I mean, the guy is
Oh,
he.
how quickly it went from Spieth National to Scotty National.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it could also he could also just never win another major again, and that's just the craziest part about golf is that he's on this crazy run and he could never win another major ever again.
He
So
easily
I
could.
yeah. So I think I'm gonna go with 9. One higher than Judge there. I feel like he's got it in the tank just to continue this run. And do I think he's gonna win at Oakmont? Probably not. Is he gonna be in contention? Absolutely. But just so much luck goes into winning a major. Like, just can you get lucky 6 more times? Is it that
I don't
seems
know, man.
it's
The
crazy
three
amount of time to
majors
get
that he's
luck.
won, he didn't get lucky. He just
Yeah.
destroyed everybody.
Scotty
Yeah.
got some good breaks yesterday. He got some good breaks.
He did. He turned a double bogey into a par or a birdie because of a bounce out of the trees.
Hmm.
Um, but
But
other than that,
Jonathan Vegas also got a couple good bounces yesterday, and what? He didn't even finish in the top 10, right?
Scotty also got a mud ball double too,
My
so that
fault.
almost cancels it out.
What the?
Clip that. We gotta clip that.
Okay, so Josh gives Scotty 8 majors total. Andrew gives him 9. I
Avery's gonna be like
it's
15.
It's so that's so many majors, man. I'll probably say he ends at 6. I think he's gonna tie Phil.
They were gonna say 16.
I thought he was gonna do.
Oh,
That's why if you could look at my reaction when I went like this, I was like, oh my God, he's just gonna go whole
I'm flirting between 6
insane
and
glaze.
7. Um, I don't want to get caught up in this, but that's doubling what he's done so far. I mean, which is nuts. It's so hard to win. Um, yeah, I think I'll go 6. I'll play it safe. It's boring. It's a boring answer. Only 3 more majors. But yeah, yeah. 6. He'll end at 6. I'll keep a doc on this as well. We'll ask Carson what his answer is, and we'll keep this running tally because it'll be a lot of fun to do that. All right.
6 is incredibly possible. Incredibly.
It seems easy, but I might be underselling him. He could win 12.
Yeah, see, that's the crazy part is, I mean, I know I just touched on this, but like, I mean, he could easily just never win another major, but he could easily just continually dominate golf for the next 10, 12 years and just go on a Tiger run and just destroy everybody and
Yeah,
continue doing what he's been
but at the
doing.
same time, if guys like Rory and Xander and Bryson and Rom now and whoever else wants to, play elite golf, then they need to win some majors too, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's very easy to
So,
like overshoot it right after he just won. But like thinking back to last year, like Xander winning twice, Bryson winning the US Open, and then Rory winning the Masters this year, like it's very easy to like we're kind of on like the high of Scottie Scheffler right now, winning by 7, but there's still a lot of guys that are Scottie level players. Like their ceiling is a Scottie type guy.
hmm Speaking
So,
of guys like that, Bryson James Aldrich DeChambeau, that's his full name. Got it pulled up on the Wikipedia. Uh,
Aldrich.
he's got 2 middle names, Bryson James Aldrich DeChambeau. Aldrich Pot Eater. Anyway, um, he's just here to contend at every single major. Apparently, he's just he also is inevitable. If you only could figure out how to hit an iron. I think I said this in the group chat. He hits his 8 iron 200 yards, so he's got only a handful of clubs to you know, hit 50 to 200 yard shots with. That doesn't seem very sustainable.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem very healthy considering with the driver, he only gives himself 50 to 100 yards in on any given hole.
Yeah. It's
Um,
I think it could be for like a multitude of reasons why like his irons are a huge problem. Like it's becoming a reoccurring issue. His irons are an issue. Um I think well maybe it's largely because he misses the fairway a lot. Like I think yesterday he hit like 5 fairways and like
let
you're not
me
gonna control your distance out of the rough all the time. Like sure he hits it far, but being in the fairways obviously very important. Also think like I just think his iron setup, I think he's gone a little bit too deep. Like I said in our group chat a little bit today, but like he has the one length irons. He has the 5 iron that's lofted to like a 2 iron loft. He has the bulged face to help with his misses. I think, and just with how hard he swings it that sort of seems to me like distance control is a little bit too hard at that point. Like, um, and then like the one length irons too, and like his pitching wedge is like the length of his 7 iron, and to
Mhm.
me it's just a little bit too far. Like I'm wondering if he'll make an equipment change, something like that.
He was dead average in approach play this week. He ranked number 47. He literally gained 0.07 shots approach this week. He was first off the tee. Uh, Unsurprisingly, honestly, right now he's the greatest driver of the golf ball on the planet. This season that he's having with his driver is insane, and he proved it again this week. He was he was only 20th off the tee yesterday, as you were saying, a little bit wild, but for the most part, he's hitting fairways. Like today, all day on the front nine, he was just 350, 360, 370 down the middle of every fairway, giving himself little wedges and coming up just so short a lot with a lot of shots. And it's just like, come on, dude. You have to, you're the mad scientist. You haven't figured out how to hit a freaking wedge from the middle of the fairway? I don't, it doesn't really compute with me.
Yeah. He sails a lot of greens, I feel like too.
It's just distance control in general. He just can't figure out, it's been a running theme this year for sure. He just can't seem to figure it out. And he's so dumbfounded every single time. And then in the uh, post round pressers, he just keeps on blaming the equipment or blaming the wind. He never once has said, "Yeah, I just hit a bad shot there. Or I calculated the distance wrong or just pulled the wrong club or something." It's always like yesterday he was just like, "Yeah, I kept on getting gusted. The wind was just not my friend. Kept on getting unlucky. Kept on striking it really well." I'm like, "What are you talking about, man? You came up 20 yards short on 17. Like
Well,
hit
breaking news, like hitting an iron as hard as you can into the wind isn't what you're supposed to do. You know,
Yeah.
like
especially with how long these short irons, they're not short irons because they're the freaking same, all the same
Let's go.
length,
Let's go mid irons. Yeah.
but like they'll launch higher in the air. You can't keep them low on the ground. You can't keep them low. The whip and the speed that you generate, they're just gonna go straight up in the air. So I don't understand how he's supposed to control any of his distances under 200 yards. Clearly, it's not really working, but he is elite at every other fashion of the game, which is why his floor is so high, and he's giving himself chances to win majors when he doesn't know how far the ball is going to go.
something I want to bring up too is I'm pretty over like the broadcast hyping up what iron he's hitting. Like
Yes,
one of the par threes today
dude.
or this
Yes.
week, like
Thank you.
220 yards. They're like, Bryson's hitting a 7 iron. It's like that thing is lofted to a regular guy's 5 iron, which he's hitting. I'm a little bit like sick of it. Just a little bit sick of it. Like, it's just kind of a classic, like people just not understanding lofts. They just
Yeah.
see number on club. Oh, they're all the same.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah,
I
it's really
get, I just,
dumb.
I get
And
the shit, like I get the shakes every time they say it.
I'm not blaming Bryson for that, but I do agree with Josh there because I mean like yeah I actually like Bryson. I mean contrary to like most people like when I mean he got a lot of shit especially like when he was leaving the PGA Tour and stuff like that with the whole Brooks and Bryson and everything like that. Um, but I've always kind of enjoyed watching him, and I've always enjoyed like the quirkiness and how like much of a gearhead he is. I mean, he's a whole different level of gearhead than I am. He's like a psycho gearhead. I'm just like a casual. Um, but it's like I don't get like yeah, like you guys are saying, like just blaming the equipment all the time. It's like, dude, you're the one that made all this equipment. Like, shouldn't it work?
He
But
literally in his post round presser today was like, "Yeah, I need to get
the
in
ball,
touch. It's up to the manufacturer to give me a
yeah,
ball that flies straighter." I'm like,
yeah,
"Bro, what the fuck are you talking about?
yeah,
Like you
I've
are
been doing this for years.
I mean,
Eh, yeah.
it's he's kind of like he's not here right now, Carson, but he's kind of like I've never really. Both of them are kind of similar in the fact
Whoa,
that
whoa, whoa!
they're
Easy, Tiger.
they're
Easy,
no no
Tiger.
no no
This
no
could get.
no.
You're lucky he
It's like
doesn't listen to this.
it's the
Yeah, yeah.
mindset that you need to have to be great at golf, which Carson is. It's like I don't want to say complaining, but like bringing up outside factors as like a reason why a shot didn't go right. Carson isn't as nearly as bad as Bryson. He will openly admit when he
Yeah.
hit a horrible shot, but it's like that type of level of player and up, and Bryson is the king of this, where no matter what happens, if the ball doesn't end up where he thinks it should end up, it's not his fault. It's just not.
Yeah.
And it's up to the manufacturers to give him the equipment to make sure that he doesn't ever hit a bad shot, which, is probably why he got here because he doesn't believe he's ever hit a bad shot in his life. But it is just it just bothers me, and I'd imagine a lot of other fans when he says that. It is
Yeah.
funny. It's a lot of content, and I appreciate that he's saying that. But God, it just kind of sick of it.
I
Yeah.
imagine for like these club manufacturers that he's a nightmare to work with.
Oh God.
Like a
Yeah.
complete nightmare. Like the way he
Well,
bounces around like manufacturers, like he likes to do these things where he, does these huge projects with these manufacturers. Because like
Cobra,
um,
LA Golf, Crank, King,
Cobra back in the
Titleist.
day.
I think yeah, I was gonna say yeah, Cobra. And then who was he doing? He was doing irons with Ping for a while. He was using the I-230s.
Yep.
Um,
And then he
and
got
then
those Avoda 3D printed ones with the bold,
yeah,
and he used those for a bit. He used them to win the US Open. And
yeah,
then he just leaves them after all that effort they put into it and starts doing his thing with LA Golf. Same iron,
yeah.
just LA Golf.
Yeah, and then
Maybe
now they have a driver too. Like they have their own Bryson head, and like it's so funny though because like all of this, like with when he went from Cobra to Ping to Crank and all that stuff, he's used the same LA golf shafts for like all these things. I think. I mean, it's all like stuff that he's like it's a custom Bryson shaft or whatever. But it's so funny that he's used 7 different iron heads in competitions and majors and stuff like that. But he's used the shaft. Everything the shaft is like something he just doesn't budge on, I guess.
Yeah.
maybe he should use a 3D printed ball, you know?
You
Mm.
know,
Also,
that's
don't
a
blame the
pretty
ball,
smart
dude.
idea.
It's just you. Like I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I keep
Really
saying, I
complaining about the
like
ball
Bryce,
right now
but dude, it's like
when the
we're not.
rollback is
Yeah,
coming.
I was gonna say,
Like
dude, it's like
the
we're
rollback is here because of the ball is
yeah.
too good. You want the ball to be even better? Oh my God. That just it just drives me crazy.
Somebody I
Yeah.
can't remember
Court.
who said it was, but somebody I think it was Tigala or something like that. And they're like, yeah, like why are we rolling back the ball? Like why don't we just roll back the driver head? Which has been my thing since this whole rollback thing started. And it like I'm like, why are we rolling? Because we can change the driver a million times easier in my eyes. I mean, I don't work for Titleist or anything like that. I think it's got to be a million times easier to change a driver head than it does a million golf balls because how many bazillions of golf balls are out of the planet? And now it's just, oh, we're switching. Boom. Can't
What are
use
you
these
talking
anymore.
about? Rory, Scotty, they had the driver rolled back this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fascinating.
Yeah, that was interesting with like the hotspot and stuff like that. Rory's just a cheater. Put an asterisk next to that Masters win right there. Also because
Totally
Taylor,
Scotty
agree.
also
had
because Gooch wasn't there, but then also because of the driver.
Scotty and Xander both had some really good thoughts about that. They were both asked about that after the rounds, and they both said, yeah, it's so like if they're gonna have this rule, why don't they have a uniform testing for everybody every week? Like, why is it only a handful of players every now and then? If it's not that big of a deal, then why do it in the first place? But if it is a big deal, where you're gonna take the drivers away, then why not make sure everyone is conforming all the time? I don't
Yeah.
understand. I don't, and I honestly don't even really care. The difference isn't even that much. It's maybe Michael Kim said it's like maybe a half a yard for every point something millimeters that it's thinner. And it's
Yeah.
not like it can get that thin. So okay, if Rory had a driver that gave him an extra yard and a half, whoop-de-doo. Uh, but they only test drivers too. They don't test three woods. Is everyone rocking just the hottest three wood known to man?
Yeah, the randomness would make sense if players were blatantly trying to cheat, but this is all of this is just accidental. Like they use the driver for too long, face wears down, becomes too springy. And if that's the case, if that's really such a huge issue, they should be testing everyone's driver. That just
Yeah, I don't know
makes
why they don't. It's kind of crazy that they don't. It's super easy. It's got to take no more than a couple seconds.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
the players don't even have to freaking do it. They could go to dinner and have their equipment manager or whoever just take it to the truck or whatever the facility is on site and do that at like 7 p.m. on Tuesday of the tournament. Problem solved. I don't Doesn't make any sense to me why this is a problem right now.
yeah, yeah, me neither. Um, and it doesn't really make sense to me why they wouldn't test like wedges either. I feel like that's sort of the main one that you could really cheat with. Um, but yeah, I mean, it has to take such little time. There's really no reason not to.
Hmm.
I just don't get it. But yeah, these guys just they land on a head that they like and they'll just use it until they're forced out of it.
Yeah,
And
like
they'll wear down
Scotty,
their
Yeah.
face every single
Scotty
time.
before he switched to TaylorMade. I mean, he had that Nike three wood in the bag for literally forever. And yeah, another speaking while we're on the Rory topic, and as soon as we started talking about the media stuff, it clicked in my head that Rory skipped media all 4 days. I mean, just classic bloke fashion. Um, it's like, dude, you can't have it both ways. You can't be on the top of the world, being the Masters champion, and then skip out and be a nobody at the PGA at the next major. Like, I don't know. I was not the biggest fan of that, and I get it if you skip out on like 1 or 2 days of media, but to skip out on all four and then just like not be
Hmm.
present as one of the big faces of golf, especially with the role that he's taken on with the whole Live Golf PGA thing and everything like that, and how he's been a big advocate for the PGA Tour. To skip out on 4 days of straight media, that was kind of soft to me. I mean, I expect it from
Yeah.
Rory, but
That's kind
it's
of where
that's just
I'm
how I
at. At
feel.
least do it one day.
Yeah,
Get some of the softball questions. It's not like they're gonna ask him some crazy hard questions either.
yeah.
Just answer some questions. I was pretty irritated at Colin Morikawa's situation just
Hmm.
because I thought both sides were making it a bigger deal than it was. But like this is now kind of turning into a trend with Rory. Like this happened.
He's just a
This
whiny
has
pouty
happened.
bitch, man. Come on. Let's just put
Wow.
it out there. He's just that's how he has been. It's how he always will be. And yeah,
That's crazy. Okay, that
clip it, put it out there. I don't give a shit.
those are Andrew's
Rory's not
thoughts.
Rory's not going to
This
show up
isn't
anyway, so it's
representative of the
fine.
entire pod. Um, I
I
wouldn't go
think he's
that
high
far.
maintenance. If you look at his
Yeah,
like
he's very
divorces and stuff, I
emotional.
mean,
He wears all of his emotions on his sleeve for sure. Whatever, but I will say this is really weird because for over a decade, he's been like the most available player out there in terms of speaking to the media and being basically the face of the PGA Tour when the freaking commissioner would just hide in the corner and let his best asset just take all of the brunt of the media and everything when all these crazy deals with or not no deals with Live and all this whole all the breakaway stuff. It was basically put on Rory's shoulders to be the face and the voice of the PGA Tour. So if anything, maybe he's earned a lot of benefit of the doubt, a lot of credit uh, in terms of like media relations. But at the same time, like this is just super weird, and it isn't a good look, no matter who you are. And I do think he should have spoken. He is well within his rights not to speak, but it's he's. I still think he should have at least one of the days. Like, come on, man, it's not that hard. But Josh, you're super pro. You're super anti-media, so you must have loved this.
I'm not anti-media, but I'm assuming this week he just because he hasn't been seen really since. Well, I guess he hasn't done much media since the Masters, I suppose. I'm assuming this week he took some time off, and I think he just assumed that he would get a ton of questions about the Masters and the career Grand Slam, and I think he must have been in the mindset of I just want to focus on this week and this week only. I don't want to think about the Masters. I'm sort of off that high. I need to lock in type
Mm.
deal. But yeah, and like in private conversations we've had, I've been very like, on the side of the players have the right to do whatever they would like to do. I don't think like the media or anybody is entitled to their time like at all. So I'm not against him skipping out on media all 4 days this week at all, really. But where I have an issue with it is where we see like guys like Colin Morikawa, um, sort of like, kind of fight back on the media, do what they want to do, and sort of say bluntly, like, listen, man, I don't have to be here. I'm giving you guys my time. And he got torn to shreds for doing that, right? And we see guys like Rory, who's done this, like he's never skipped all 4 days, but he's had times where he skipped out on media, US Open last year, Shane Lowry at the Masters. this year, told the media to F off. He didn't want to talk about Rory, and he needed to go cool down, and he just dipped out. I think for some reason, like Rory, he has been like a great speaker for the PGA Tour. He's been great with the media, and for some reason, he sort of gets like he's sort of like privileged to do whatever he wants in a way, which like sure he's earned, but I don't like how Colin Morikawa can go do something very similar and he gets torn to bits by Brandles.
I wouldn't say it's
Like,
similar. I wouldn't say it's similar. They did both skip, but Colin decided to just attack, full on attack the
Yeah,
media.
Colin did go out of his way. I mean, we haven't seen Rory do it yet, but I do agree with Avery there. Like Colin was like, I don't know you guys anything, and just basically just said fuck you to the media. So
but
Ro
my view is that he
Ro
doesn't. Like
well, he
he
doesn't really technically, I guess, by rule he doesn't, but at the same time, like you're only hurting yourself by doing this. Like,
mhm.
uh,
right.
and if you're going to be part of the PGA Tour, he's literally part of the TGL. The whole point of the TGL is to grow the game of golf, to grow the PGA Tour, and that includes marketing. And what's part of that? Doing interviews, especially after you played around a golf, and Rory's in an even bigger part of the TGL. So, like, that's even weirder that he would be on that block too, doing this. But going back to the that what Colin Morikawa said, Rory was asked about that, and he didn't like fully, but like he kind of agreed with Morikawa what and his stance. He did disagree with the way he did about it. He did like Rory did say that Colin kind of went about it probably the wrong way, but the message was is something that Rory pretty much agreed with. Um, I'm sure maybe over the past however many years, the media's maybe started to piss Rory off a little bit, maybe for good reason. With again having to be the face of the tour for so long, for and kind of by choice, but not really by choice, kind of thing. I don't know. I don't like talking about this. This isn't fun. Uh,
My thing
but
is, you just can't have it both ways. You can't be the face, and then you also can't just be the guy that hides away. And like when Josh mentioned like the Shane Lowry thing, like I get that because you're trying to focus and win a major championship, and all we're hearing about is Rory in the Grand Slam. Like I get that frustration. Collins was a little bit different. I just like Avery said, I don't like how Colin attacked the media and was just like basically fuck you guys. Like I don't know you anything, which like I don't
it
know.
just makes the
I
situation
can
worse, you
I can
know.
And
see where he's coming from though, because like I don't really know the exact situation, but how I sort of imagine it going is he lost that tournament, was very frustrated, and the media sort of came at him with either like just stupid questions
mhm.
or just some sort of like, I don't know, disrespect in a way.
Yeah,
And I'm in full support of him being blunt and being like, I don't owe you guys anything.
yeah,
Like, if you guys are gonna sort of waste my time here, then like I don't know what I'm doing. I want
yeah.
if you guys are just gonna waste my time, I'm gonna leave.
He
Like,
also just said like, you know, guys don't ask about me when I'm not playing well. You guys don't, you guys can come up to me whenever you want. It's like, well, what do you? That doesn't make any sense to me why he would say that because first of all, you're at your most interesting when you're in contention. That's what all anyone cares about. But second of all, do you really want media to go up to you at all hours of the day?
Mhm.
Do you really want that, Colin?
Yeah.
I don't think so. So I don't know why he went about it the way he did. It's
I think
really at the end of the day, the easiest solution for the players is to just get up in front of a freaking microphone for 2 minutes. It's literally 2 minutes of your life. If and that's like the bare minimum. Just be like, yeah, I just didn't have it today. I have to go to the range and work on some things with my swing, and that's
yeah,
it. If that's what it was, I don't know, but
yeah.
or just I don't know, I don't know. Just
Well,
this bothers me. I don't like talking about it. It's not fun,
yeah, yeah.
and
And
it should be a non-story.
yeah, and another thing that I saw from the headlines this weekend is just like the bullshit that the media has been like spewing and bringing up, like with the whole Bryson and Rory beef, with the whole oh he didn't talk to me during the Masters and everything like that. That was just absolutely blown way too far out of proportion, and it was the most useless headline hype that I've ever seen in my life.
Hmm.
And I feel like it's just a kind of a continuous theme of just like ridiculous media thoughts that are being entertained, and like these different rumors that are being spewed. And I can get like
Exactly.
the frustration, like like when Rory, like, kind of, can you kind of wrap up this whole thing here? Like when Rory lost the U.S. Open last year, like I have zero problem with him not doing media there, but then after what he did, like this little go around here, missing all 4 days, that I'm not the biggest fan of that, especially right after you win the Masters. But and then it's also just kind of on the media though, because like the media's just been kind of been ridiculous, if you ask me. But
I
that's just me.
I completely agree. And like they'll poke and pry and they'll run with like any sort of storyline that you give them.
Which is
And like
like I
classic
get that because it's
example
their
is
Some of them,
job.
some of them will.
Yeah.
Like
but
the
like
media, there's a lot of good media members out there.
there's some good ones like, KVV, I will admit he's awesome. Like Danny Rapp. Let's bring
Whoa.
up Danny Rapp
Avery
here.
Avery wants
I
to
mean
clip
Big
that
that.
that is the like the extreme edge. Like
big
I don't even I honestly I don't want to like create enemies here, but like I think the media as a whole resents a guy
Yeah.
like Danny Raps.
I think so too, but he's still like a big figure in the media. And then just a classic example of the media kind of prying at players is when Rory was sort of going through his divorce stuff. We saw it on Full Swing, where he's like, I'm not talking about my personal life at all. Like
He's like
I'm here to
he's like
talk
I'm
about
excited to
golf.
hear to play the PGA Championship or whatever it was. He's like
And,
I'm
and
I'm excited to play this event this week or something like that. And that he was like
yeah.
it was like the I'm just here so I don't get fined kind of thing. It's
And
just
the
like I don't
first
give a shit
question,
about that. I want to talk about golf. Like
the first question that he got from Danny Rapp was, "How are you doing personally? How are you doing?" Like just trying to, go around the sort of statement that he just made. And then he got like a few more questions like that.
yeah.
And my view is the player should have every right to just stand up and be like, go fuck yourself and walk away and not get ripped for it.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, you have every right to say that, but the media or anyone has every right to
Ask the
respond
questions. We'll
however they
ask the
want,
question too. But
Well, they shouldn't they should respect your wishes when it comes to most questions or
mhm.
most topics, especially personal ones. But
It's
but
a
yeah, if you're
hard
gonna like
line.
rip the media or if you're gonna shut them out for a whole tournament or multiple or longer, then I think you also deserve some sort of criticism.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know, but it shouldn't be this big of a deal either way, in my opinion. But anyway, we've been talking about this for way too long, way too long. We got to get back to the tournament at hand. I had
not
this
never
whole
gonna
thing.
happen.
We had this whole thing about, or I had this whole thing about John Rahm. He's back. He's back. But should we start? Should we label? Should we nickname his performance today some sort of? It was the Ramen Empire because it collapsed. He collapsed at the end.
I see the effort there.
That was
Damn.
horrible delivery. I
Damn.
didn't let that cook for very long.
Mm. But yeah.
The
Rom wasn't built in a
raw
day.
There we go. Whoa.
raw was hell
Yeah.
yeah. Brick by brick, we're coming back.
There we go, Josh. Come
We
on
won't
now.
double
Creative
we won't
director.
double last
Boom.
two holes
Right
in the next
there.
major.
Josh Selby. Put him in the chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he played great golf. He looked like John Rahm for huge stretches of this tournament, and then, the Green Mile, man, that deviled Green Mile, it
Green
came
Mount
back
fucked him. The Green Mount fucked him
and
hard.
got him. He got him. It got him
Plain
today.
and
It got
simple.
Bryson yesterday.
Yeah.
Uh, we could talk about the golf course a little bit later, but that, yeah, it's awesome to see him back in contention. I thought genuinely that he was going to win this tournament. I can't believe we talked for like 30, 20 minutes about
The media.
the media issue before we got to John Rahm, who was literally tied for first after his 12th hole, 13th hole today.
Yeah, with 9 holes to go in the tournament, he was tied for the golf tournament.
Yeah. But then he quickly ejected himself, and it
Full
was a
eject,
non-story.
full eject button right there. I mean,
Yeah.
He just couldn't buy a putt. He was hitting great approaches. He had great looks on what was it, 13, 14, and 15. Really should have hit the best putt I've ever seen not go in on 13.
yes, that was unreal. Played so much break in the high side lip out. I did see that.
And then the misses on 14, couldn't get up and down couldn't get up and down on 14 or 15, and that just ended
If
all of his chances.
if that putt
Yeah.
goes in, he probably wins the golf tournament. Because I mean, then he keeps that momentum going the entire way, and
I really
I
think
think
Yeah, maybe.
I think if he makes that, he wins the golf tournament. But that's just me.
I think so too. Like it seemed like he had a stretch where he had to start making birdies and he had looks and just none of them would drop. They would
Mhm.
all come really close, just wouldn't drop for him. And then he gets a 16 to like the tucked left pin, water left, and he's in a situation where he has to go for it and just draws it a little bit too much into the water. I think, yeah, I kind of blame
Push it right
him
and
ejecting himself
bum.
just on the fact that he had to go for it in the Green Mile. And those putts just didn't drop for him. I don't really think
Yeah,
too much of
he
him
was definitely in a
ejecting.
situation where he had to make one or two birdies
Yeah.
on the Green Mile, and I think maybe he went after it on 16T a little more than he would have, trying to push it down there as far as he possibly could to give himself the best chance to make birdie on that hole. He pulled it, ended up making bogey, tried to go
Mhm.
after the pin on 17, put it in the water, and it was night night.
And then hit it in the water again on 18. Yeah, like that's
Hmm.
yeah, you're trying to win a major, and I actually kind of respect him for just like going balls to the wall and just trying to win. Because I mean that's what you have to do when you're going against fucking Thanos 3 holes behind you. But at the same time, like he's been driving the ball so well, and like I think Josh talked about it in the draft, and that's why he took him. Was he's been driving like he said he's been driving the ball super well, and the few shots that I did see him hit today with the driver were just absolutely pummeled. Like I mean he was just pounding driver. I think off the first tee he hit it like 330, just dead down the center. So at the same time, it's like yeah, I don't mind getting a little aggressive there, but this was a little hardcore
It did
sending
bone
for
me
me.
in our draft. Like
Yeah,
he,
sure
he
did.
ejected himself and I missed out on some like top five points. But I still wouldn't have won regardless with Scotty winning for Andrew. But yeah, I mean overall I think it's very refreshing to see him contend again. Like he's one of the few guys I feel like golf is better when he is around and like especially with like the YouTube golf stuff that he's been doing, like kind of shedding light on kind of how he is
He's
personally.
funny.
Like
He's fucking
he's a
funny.
great guy, fun to watch with how hot he gets. Um,
He pulled off a little bit different of a personality this week. He was kind of smiling and laughing throughout this weekend. It's kind of shocking. It was kind of jarring. I didn't know what I was watching.
maybe he's just so happy to contend in something that wasn't a live event. He's like, oh my God.
Yeah, he said that he was hungry. He was hungry for another major after his presser yesterday, and much akin to how Charlotte is was starved for professional golf. I don't. Did
Yeah,
you guys see that stuff? How Charlotte is that the golf fans there are starved for golf. Not like they don't get it every freaking year.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then you see these freaking aerial shots of a lot of these shots throughout the week, and there's just nobody there.
Yeah, that was really funny, especially like coming from guys who like are in the PNW and professional golf doesn't sniff a fucking like 500-mile radius of here. So like him saying that
Probably
is a little
more
bit
than that, dude. I
preposterous.
would even say 1,000. Like, I mean, LA,
Yeah, I mean, how far is it away?
California,
I don't know. San Francisco.
I guess Colorado, since they just hosted the whatever Mile High Championship. I don't know what it was. It was some ridiculous Chevron or something like that.
The Northeast is really good. Like they're going to be going back up to well, obviously Oakmont is in Pittsburgh, and then Aronimink for the PGA next year is in Philadelphia. And then the Ryder Cup this year is in New York. So the Northeast is going to be happy over the next couple years. But
Classic
yeah,
East Coast bias. Classic East Coast bias.
well, no,
It's
the
never.
Northeast is kind of sick when it comes to these tournaments,
Yeah.
and they have fantastic courses, so that helps things.
Mm.
Southeast is that's just where the PGA Tour lives, and it's very boring. They don't really go to that many really cool courses. Obviously, Augusta, Pinehurst, Sawgrass, things of that nature are exceptions. But yeah, the West Coast just gets done dirty. It's the West Coast swing is like everybody's favorite part of the schedule anyway,
Hmm.
and they just don't really give us majors, which just blows, man. Like,
How
there's a
fun would
lot of
just be
great
a
courses over here.
how fun would a yearly event at Chambers be? I mean, that would do numbers. That would
Why
do
not just
PGA
move
should
the
make
numbers.
it its
PGA
anchor site.
Championship to Chambers? Why not?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
not?
hospitality probably is the
We'll have to
number
send this
one and
pod.
only thing.
We'll have to send the
Who
pod
cares?
to
Nobody went
J.
to Quail. Nobody went.
Nobody win. Nobody
Doesn't matter. Nobody's
exactly.
going anyways, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just
Anyway,
yeah, it's like L.A., California, Northern California, Oregon. I mean, you could do
I
what
don't
is
know
it?
if you could do anything in Oregon.
It's the what's the one Pumpkin Ridge. That's I mean because
Nah,
Live hosted there, but they had to like they combined the 36 holes that Pumpkin Ridge has and like made
I
its own
don't think
course.
that would be
I
that's
don't think
that
it's.
wouldn't be a major. I don't know if
Oh,
there
I
is.
was just saying events in general, but yeah, no, definitely
Oh,
not. No,
events
definitely
in
not
general.
majors. Oh God, no, Jesus.
Yeah, I don't think there's any real courses in Oregon that would really, off the top of my head, that I can think of would host anything. There isn't really anything in Washington that would host anything other than Chambers. Like the
Yeah,
only other courses that could maybe host something are no,
there's not
like
really
nothing.
anything.
They
Home
used to
course is
host the
too
Boeing
easy.
Classic at Snoqualmie, but the PGA Tour would eat that place alive.
There's just not really anything over here for them other than Chambers. But
It
it's
stinks.
it's everyone's favorite. That's like a cult
Yeah,
classic. So
yeah.
yeah,
It
PJ to Chambers.
yeah. It stinks because like Eugene Country Club and Tacoma Country Club. I don't know if you guys have been around those two places, but those two places are absolutely majestic. Tacoma Golf and Country Club is the oldest country club on this side of the Mississippi. It was 1899.
See, there
Um,
a billion places make that claim.
yeah, yeah, I mean, that's fair. But I mean, Tacoma is one of the most beautiful golf courses I've ever been on. Same with Eugene. Eugene is so fun, but I mean, that'd be like LPGA Tour. Like that's nowhere near any sort of PGA Tour event.
I think Portland Country Club might make that claim as well. Um,
So is Avalon.
Whatever. Anyway, back to the leaderboard. We keep on getting sidetracked. It's
Yeah,
probably not very professional of us.
well, that's why we're not
We
pros.
have we've talked about three golfers. We don't need to really talk about anybody, but just some quick mentionings before we move on. Harris English randomly finished second place. His best finish in a major, I think, ever. Best finish in a non-US Open ever for sure. Um,
Jumped up 34. Yeah, 34 spots today. That's
round of the
ridiculous.
day, round of the day at six
Unbelievable.
under,
Hmm.
which is badass. Um, Davis Riley, Taylor Pendrith, Johnson
Pendrith played well
Vegas.
today.
What a weekend for him.
Yeah, Vegas, every time I saw Vegas hit a golf shot, it was a one-handed finish and he hated it. So,
Yeah,
I'm
taking
surprised
that Major League Baseball sponsor too literally.
yeah, I literally I'm impressed he still stayed in the top 5. I mean, that dude was crumbling every time I
He
saw him hit.
he he held it together pretty well, but yeah, you know, this golf course. We could talk about the golf course, I guess. Th kind of kind of like most PGA Tour courses, does not do a good job of separating out talent, unless, of course, you have the generational talent that is Scottie Scheffler, who has now done it in two consecutive PGA Tour courses that are not designed to separate out talent. If you just look at this freaking leaderboard, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 guys finished within two shots of second place. And it's
Yeah.
including people who finished second. If you exclude Scotty, the lead was at 6, and 15 guys shot 4 under or better,
Yeah.
between 4 under and 6 under. That doesn't scream like what
Major.
a test of golf to me. It just screams everyone's balls are ending up in similar places and everyone's making the same amount of putts.
this was such a random like major in general though. I mean, other than Scotty just dominating and winning, like Avery said, you take away Scotty, like Harris English, Taylor Pendrith, Vegas, JT Poston, Ben Griffin, Denny McCarthy, Ryan Gerard, Joe Highsmith. Joe Highsmith with a top 10 in a major. That's shout out Washington, by the way.
With a
Uh,
horrendous double yesterday, if you saw that.
yeah, and then like Matt Wallace, Alex Noren. I mean, he's been playing okay. Bo Hostler, Aaron Rai, Harry Hall, Taylor Moore. Like these are not the household names. These are not the JTs, the Jordans, the Rorys that we like, the Xanders, the Tonys that we expected. And but that I don't know, that's crazy to me. Just like scrolling through this leaderboard and like seeing like our boys miss the cut and Ben Griffin with a top 10 in a major. Like
Yeah,
what the fuck?
guys
That guy,
like
this guy was an accountant.
guys like Spieth, JT, even like Rory getting dusted by Taylor Pendrith. Like, what the fuck are we doing, man?
Yeah.
And it's not like it was a one-off for Taylor Pendrith. It was a list, that whole list that you had. Most of those guys are like, what are we doing here? Why are we outside of Scotty in contention for this major? It doesn't. I don't know. I'm separate. I'm trying to separate my opinions on the golf course with my opinions of uh it as a major venue because as a golf course, it's fine. It's even good. Like that back nine is quality golf. The ending is pretty thrilling, very demanding, very challenging. If the whole course was like that, it would be freaking sick, and a place that I wish we would go back to for majors all the time. But the fact of the matter is, it's not, and you know, it's just it's just either you're making par or you're making bogey on a lot of holes. You're not making double on any holes other than the final three. And you
Unless you're
might
Max
get a
Homa.
you might make an eagle on a couple of those holes on the back or eight, but you're not making worse than par on those holes either. Like it's all those holes, all the guys are making the same scores. There isn't a whole lot of thought or risk on a lot of these holes, and it's just kind of rinse and repeat. And for a PGA Tour stop, fantastic place, one of the better courses they go to in the upper half for sure. But as a major, it's in that bottom half. It's way better than a course like Valhalla in terms of separating out talent and giving you.
Classic Valhalla strafe maybe right there.
It's not just for me, man. I don't understand why you
Valhalla's
guys
good
love
too.
Valhalla. I don't.
It
I know
was
you guys.
solid. It was solid. It's as a
Val.
major, but oh wow,
No,
look at I just lit a
stop.
fire in there.
I
In
enjoyed
terms of
Valhalla.
majors, obviously every single major is going to be exciting in the back on the back nine, just like every other PGA Tour event is going to be exciting on the back nine, unless you have a guy running away with it. So I'm trying again, like yes, Valhalla and Quail was exciting because it produced a bunch of leaderboard, but that's kind of the point. It's like a poor major golf course doesn't allow uh, the best players to separate from the worst players. So, like for example, Valhalla, very bunched leaderboard. For example, Quail Hollow, very bunched leaderboard. It took a generational talent to separate himself from everybody else. But outside of that, very bunched, very bunched. Like I just said, 14 guys within two shots of second place. That does like if Scotty didn't exist, it like literally the guy that finished in 15th was a hole away from winning this thing. So I don't know. It's just it's not an Oakmont, it's not a Pinehurst, it's not any of those places. Some major courses have to be in the bottom half. Just because
Yeah.
it produced just because it was exciting at some point on Sunday doesn't mean it was like a good golf course. Like it like Valhalla didn't punish anybody for hitting a bad shot. And outside of like those last three holes on the Green Mile this week, players weren't really punished for hitting bad shots. Like the freaking, you have to be on my side here. The rough stopping all those balls from going in the water on like six different holes was disgraceful, right?
I didn't see too much of
Yeah,
that, but that does kind of sound right.
It was
pretty poor
horrible.
choice.
if those banks were shaved and balls were going in the water left and right, maybe my opinions changed because it brings a heck of a lot more variance into these scores,
Mhm.
and this leaderboard. But like everyone having their balls saved means, oh, great, okay, I can just get up and down for par instead of having to scramble to save bogey or double in some cases. So yeah, poor setup choices. The course is fine. They are not far away from being a great test for a major, or at least a good test for a major. But like, I don't know, front nine, those issues with the rough
I think
just didn't really do it for me.
I think it would be a good major stop if the PGA Tour didn't stop there.
I
Like,
agree.
It's
I
a
think
big
it
part of it
has
too.
enough to be an entertaining major course. Like, it does sort of lack that bite other than the last three holes, but I mean, it is very, very beautiful. It's tough enough. And then like the finishing stretch is very iconic. 18, super iconic. I love 18. But yeah, I think, yeah, just because we just see it so often, it just feels so bleh. And, it was also wet beginning of the week. That was also a factor. And we could talk about like the whole mud ball situation.
My ball.
The whole mud ball situation.
Shane
And it's
Lowry's
just
just a dick,
so
man.
so many of those par fours like just run together, and that's just like one of the biggest red flags for like this is a mid golf course. Uh, just like yeah, it's hard. It is challenging, but like these golf holes aren't. They're all the same, kind of, and they're not. Again, they're not. There's not. They're not producing like a variance in scoring. It's I don't know. But yeah, for a
We need more
PGA Tour
juice.
event,
We need more juice.
yeah, and again to shit on the Charlotte fans, like they were not out there, and the roars were not that loud, especially yesterday when it should have been. Like if you saw, there's a screenshot of the final group. Granted, it was Jonathan Vegas and Pavon or something. There was nobody there for their opening tee shots on one yesterday.
Yeah.
Um, but it might go to back to my point of like, yeah, this course didn't filter those guys out until way too late.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I think it did a decent job of filtering a little bit because as I was looking through the leaderboard here, I mean, I wasn't really expecting him to hang around, but Luke Donald, um, T60, and then
well, you can't say
came.
that they did a decent job of filtering them out when you were the one that just rattled off like 20 names of like, how did
Yeah,
they end up here?
that's true. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, 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 true, true, true. But and then also Mad Max is not back. Like there was that whole like frenzy of how
So
like, oh my
sad.
God, Max almost back. Oh, everyone's like he's been working so hard. And yeah, T60. I mean, what are
Laid
we
an
doing?
egg this weekend. Just
Yeah,
77, 76. Just, oh, that
yeah.
was so disappointing.
But yeah, and it sucked because like I fucking love Max Homa. Like I've said a few things on this podcast that I'm not gonna repeat at this time. Um, but like big juice guy, fucking hilarious. Um, but yeah, it really stunk to see all that hype go into him after that 64, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong, love the hype. But then to see him not kind of back up that juice after like saying like, "Hey, I've worked so hard for this," like it's kind of feels good to be back, and then go out and shoot 76, 77 on the weekend and almost get right back into dead last where you've been. So, and then yeah, so that's just that kind of I was kind of sad to see Homa kind of fall apart there. That sucked.
Dick Bland beat Roy McIlroy this week by two.
Dick Bland, huh?
Dick Bland is crazy.
Justin Lower beat
Lauer.
Lauer. No, it's Lower.
Nice to
The
see signs of life from Big Tone too. Like,
That
yeah,
was
a
that was cool. But
great pick.
with a grain of salt for it's funny we're like praising Scotty for one of the a great major performance, but like this is a PGA Tour event, right? Like great big tone. You played well at the Truist Championship. Oh,
I think so.
um, Joaquin Neiman. You finally played well in a major, first time in your career. Oh, but it was at the Truist Championship, and it was a huge backdoor top 10, like one of the biggest backdoors we've ever seen for your first ever good appearance in a major. I'm not gonna take anything from guys like that.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to prove it at Oakmont, at at Royal Portrush, at Augusta, things of that nature.
I don't think, I think that could be too far. Like to me, like second place was 6 under, you know, like bottom line, 6 under, pretty damn low. Like Scotty won at 12
11.
and he won at 11.
Yeah.
Oh,
He,
He
he
bogeyed
bogeyed
the
the last
last.
so
and he won by however many shots,
5.
6 shots, like five.
5.
Um, I still think we don't see that on tour, really that often. We just don't.
We only saw it 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, but I mean, the Masters
From
was
anybody
higher.
else than Scotty.
Like Rory or Bryson won the U.S. Open last year at six under, and like
Yeah.
T2 was 6 under here, with Scotty running away. Like I do think it was a tough test. I think we're just
It was a
lulled
tough
by
test.
how much we see it.
It was tough, sure, but but it wasn't like there was a stat. I think one person over the weekend shot 80. Everyone else broke 80 everywhere, every round. Which, if anyone's gonna come at me or come at anyone and say, yeah, what a tough test this was, it's like, well, the leaderboard was just super bunched. Like the people who made the cut at 1-2 over had a chance to win because everything was just so bunched together.
Hmm.
It's not
Uh,
necessarily a bad thing, right? I mean, we like
It's
bunch
for
leaderboard.
excitement for the general fan. Yeah. Yeah. Like if you're just wanting like pure drama and excitement on Sunday, that's perfect. That's a perfect thing. But if you're trying to, have the best competition, the best test of golf, then no, probably not. You just did a really good job of making sure everybody made the same score in every hole. And but that maybe that's the identity of the PGA is like make Thursday through Sunday morning boring as hell to watch, and then set it up for a fun finish because no one's separating,
Yeah.
unless obviously you got Scottie Scheffler separating, but he's like the only guy.
Higo dropped an 80 bomb. New Mr. Malvin, but then proceeded to drop an 80 bomb today. So that's tough.
That's tough. Love Melbourne though. Love the signing.
Yeah, great signing. Tough weekend, but
Okay,
yeah.
I think that does it for the PGA. We're going to stop it. We're going to jump into the future uh, and go to our draft results if you want to see that. So
God,
I'll pull that up here
show me
and
that
we'll
shit.
see you on the other side. Okay. I did create a new stat called made cut percentage because I just thought that would be interesting to keep track of.
Hmm.
It turns out I've been dominant at that as well. I'm a major champion wizard, as it turns out. But Andrew, as previously mentioned, we will scroll over to the 2025 PGA. Andrew has won. He scored 9 points thanks to Scottie Scheffler existing and winning. Josh finished in second place. This just went the same as the draft order. I finished in third with 3. Carson, unfortunately, had a really bad week. Finished in the negatives with -2. Andrew, we will cede the floor to you. Please explain to us what this feeling is like of winning your first major.
Um, when I saw that I won, I kind of pulled a Rory. I threw my putter over my head. I threw my hat off my head. I bent down on the ground crying for a while. Um, it's been tough because I felt so confident with a lot of the picks that I've made. We can go back to the Masters when I gave myself I think an A minus or something like that, and I was very confident that I was somehow going to win the Masters and got dead last again. Um, so it's been a grind to finally grind one out. Um, yeah, I thought Scotty was due. I didn't see Rory winning again. That's why I didn't take him. I was strictly going for the win there with the Scotty pick. Um, but yeah, we're gonna try and build off this. We're gonna try and hold off the Avery Slam, which I was very glad to do. Um,
Yeah, I'm very
that,
sad about that. I was really, really looking forward to just shoving it in all of your faces if
yeah,
I had all four at the same time. But
yeah.
alas, that'll have to wait for another day. This was a very, very, very weird major. You could see most of the missed cuts were in the top half of the draft. Most of the points outside of Scotty came in the lower half of the draft. Is that a sign of the golf course? I don't know. But
Maybe the mud ball situation.
My ball.
well,
Yeah, it's this was the third lowest scoring like major winning score for us. There was a couple at there's one at 7, one at 8, and then now this one at 9. I can't remember. Let me look. I think there was a 17. Yeah, when Avery won this year's Masters, he had 17 points. So,
yes.
I mean, could you say I pulled a little Valhalla and got lucky and just snuck out a win somehow? Yeah, but I mean,
You said third lowest. It's also the third highest.
well, that's a great point. Third lowest, third highest. Yeah, it's true.
It's right in
But
the middle, the
yeah,
average performance of victory.
I guess I'm just average win. But
But that pushed you up for career total points out of the negatives. You're at positive 5 points all time.
yeah, that's
Congratulations.
huge for the psyche, huge for the program. Still
I
still in the red for money. But I mean, I was clearly in dead last, like by a lot, by a green mile, some would say. Um, but I mean, yeah, I was down to like $32 or something like that in the negative of paying these guys. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm tired of paying these guys. And now we're gonna go for the Jizz Slam. That's what it's gonna be called.
Just
We're going for the
slam.
Jizz Slam. We're gonna see if we can get it done.
If we're
I
gonna
now
follow
have
this
the
trend, sorry, what, Josh?
I now have the largest money deficit,
You
which
do.
is
For
kind
as
of
far as majors go, yes. Players, though, you are positive 25, which is huge.
yeah, that is pretty awesome. But
But we're gonna ignore the players. That happened too long ago. We're in major season.
Yeah.
the
Also, we're gonna put a
players
hand
is
up.
fifth major, everyone loves it.
Gonna put a hand up here for Josh. Sorry for not paying you for the players. Worked out well. Appreciate the deferral on the 50 cents. Other than Mr. Kindred requesting a Venmo for 50 cents, I think that's one of the first ones I've ever seen.
Unreal
Um,
behavior.
that's and that's okay.
I
I'll
gotta hold you
gladly.
guys accountable.
I will be glad to pay that 50 cent toll for all the work that Avery does for the pod. So, will I be paying that? Absolutely not. Am I going to say I'm going to pay it? Absolutely. But yeah, I look forward to future drafts, and I want to keep this rolling. I want to go on a Scotty run, or I just don't want to be ass anymore.
Scotty
I'm
run.
tired of getting shit on in the drafts. I mean, it's been brutal, and I've been dead last pretty consistently by
Well,
a
you're now
lot. But I'm
you're
back.
T3 when it comes to the major total.
Yeah, instead of just third.
Josh, what are we doing? Now we're gonna be thinking about who's better between Andrew and Josh. Josh has 11 more points all time, but he's lost more money because of cuts.
Yeah,
I have
Well,
a
not
player.
because of cuts, I guess, but
just because of money.
Yeah,
But
I
but
won
Josh
the
also has the
players
players.
convincingly.
He does have the players. Yeah, yeah. But
he
I don't
did.
know. It's just like for me, I've just been so historically awful. It's just like if you look at those like the point system that we have there, like I hadn't cracked like 5 points ever, and all it took was me to finally pick Scotty to win to get above five. Yeah, like look at that.
Well,
I haven't even cracked three.
Take Scotty away, you finish with -1 on the week.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I'm saying. It's just like I finally got lucky and got a. I mean, my yeah, like I said, my best points is 3. Like that's awful. Like
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. So I don't know. It just felt great to break the seal finally and get that monkey off my back and
Yeah,
But we
save the
got
day
this
for
move
nice
on.
everybody.
little design here. Josh won the first one with the asterisk because we didn't have a point system. But hey, that's an official dub.
Sure
Then
is.
Carson won the next two. I won the next two. Andrew, does that mean you win the next two or the next one after this? Or do we kind of go reverse pattern here?
Now does
Or do
Avery
we
go and win the next two again?
That's what I'm saying. Or does
Yeah.
Josh do we just repeat the pattern and does Josh win the US Open?
I'm due,
So
man. I feel like I'm gonna win.
Storylines. Yeah, you
you
haven't
did just win the
won.
players though.
You
I
did
don't know
win the
how due you
players,
are.
but but people are saying you haven't won a points major, and if you haven't won a points major, do you really have a win?
I think
Have
he's
you
got the major. I mean, we're gonna take that away from him, but
have a
It's
major, have
almost
a
like
green
it's
jacket?
like it's essentially the COVID Masters. You're essentially DJ, but he backed it up by first winning the U.S. Open at Oakmont. This was your first Masters. Imagine, imagine if some random guy won the COVID Masters and that was his only win. We'd be saying, "Well, that didn't count."
I've given other, majors runs too, like the 2024 PGA lost by one.
Oh,
Um,
so now you're trying to hype yourself up for having close calls. Famous
the
Louis
Open
Oosthuizen
Championship
hater.
off by one. And this week I almost won too. I was the only one competing with Jizz. Like Siwoo and John Rahm kind of fucked me. If they could have just like stayed in the top five, like just I could have come away with a dub even with Scotty, but
yeah. And Adam Scott, I don't mean to diss on the Tanimal. Well, I mean, it ended up being a great pick for me in the 13th round. But he was, I think, in the top five at one point, and then granted, he kind of shitted away at the end there a little bit and went like bogey double or something like that to finish.
Yeah, he got green
Um,
miled as well.
yeah, got green fucked, man. Hate to see it. Beautiful man.
Yeah.
I do not doubt my abilities though moving forward. I really feel good about the US Open. I feel like I'm feeling good. Let's see. Yeah, I'll have the third pick to pick my pick. Or wait, yeah, third.
Yeah,
Yeah, Carson will take the first pick for sure. Take the second pick. I think that's going to be what's going to happen every single time we do this.
yeah,
And the next decision will be the only decision is the third guy, is he going to take the third pick or the fourth pick? That's the
yeah,
only actual decision. Granted, when I won the Masters by 9, I had the first pick and I decided to go number 2. So maybe that's the method.
yeah. That was.
Nonsense.
I still don't know how that worked out for you, which is crazy
I
because
know
you had such
exactly how it worked
good.
out. I won by 9.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough.
Carson
But
likes to
I
say,
also
"Oh, I didn't take Rory because I wanted to be a good friend." Bullshit. All right. He took Scotty because Scotty's Scotty.
no, but you deferred to the second pick because you were scared. So
It was a cowardly
Not
move.
no.
Let's face
yeah,
it.
yep, sure was, sure
We should
was.
It
put
It
an
was
was just
asterisk
smart.
on that
put it
one.
right here.
I
Just put it
would
right
I
here.
would have
That's
been
all I need.
happy with either of them. And I was like, "You know what? I want my next pick to be sooner. That's what I want. I don't want an end pick in these drafts. I don't like it. I don't like it in fantasy. I like being or for like fantasy football, I don't like being on the a bookend. I want to be close to the edge, but not the actual edge.
That's what
So
I've been
That is not
thinking
how you
about.
explained it to us in private conversation, but we'll ride with that narrative. We can ride with
I'll
that.
take the one pick if it's clear Scotty's gonna win, you know. But you know, like if I had the one pick going into the PGA, I probably would have taken number one overall. But at the Masters, it's like, you know what? I think Rory might have a even better chance than Scotty. So like, I'll take both of them. So I'll go with the number 2 pick.
Yeah,
You know,
I
you just hate me for being smart.
It's a cowardly move,
sure
but hey,
I'm the
we'll call
mad
it that.
scientist. You call me Bryson. Call me
Yeah,
Aldrich.
but you're talking to the media because this is the media.
I'll happily
Aldrich.
talk to the media.
I guess that makes sense. He has like the BAD thing on like his yardage book. I
Yeah,
Hmm.
never thought of what that A could be, but it's Aldrich. That's such a lame name.
it's
Wow.
classic Bryson middle name too.
Bad.
Aldrich. Crazy.
But yeah, no, I'm excited, man. It feels so good to just win. Like as much as this is just a make up believe game that we have for the podcast. It was tough, man, to get on the pod every single week and just get roasted.
Oh, don't pretend like this has been like a 4-year span or a
Okay,
Rory 10-year. You
but it's been two
you
years of
you
just
lost
getting
the first 5. All right. You only lost 5.
well, and the
Big
players
drought. The
too.
field is only four.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's especially when it's pretty close friends just continually shitting on you for how awful your picks are, which is like totally okay because granted my picks are fucking awful. Like obviously, like I'm not being like, "Oh, why are you guys being such assholes?" I was awful. So it feels good to not be awful.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe you'll be JT, maybe you'll be a PGA merchant.
I, I'll take the majors however I can get them.
Granted, you've only ever finished positive one other time. That was the US Open. Maybe you're Brooks.
I'm just Andrew.
Put
But
that on a
yeah.
t-shirt.
I'm just Andrew.
Hello, my name is Andrew. But yeah, no, this is a lot of fun this week, and yeah, I'm excited to watch Oakmont, dude. That's gonna be I really hope Oakmont finishes at over par for like around even 1-2 under. But I mean that course looks fucking brutal, dude. Kind of happy I
Um,
didn't make it through U.S. Open locals, just so I don't have to fucking embarrass myself and shoot 100, because there's no chance I can get any sort of ball out of that rough.
We'll talk more about that. Obviously, we'll have our own Oakmont draft and little tiny not recap preview of that.
Recap.
But I couldn't be more excited. Like the US Open, the USGA just knows how to pick a freaking golf course, man. Like Pinehurst last year, LACC the year before that, and now Oakmont, and then we're gonna go. Where are we going next year?
It's something like that, but then in 2027, it's in
It's
Pebble.
it's back at Pebble in
I'm
27.
excited. I'm so jacked for that potential boys trip.
Oh, it's at Shinnecock next
it'd be
year.
electric.
Ooh,
Ooh.
that's gonna be fun.
And then Pebble, and then Winged Foot.
I still have
Winged
one
Foot,
major at
Winged Foot
that
was
time.
kind of lame when Bryson won, but all these courses, other than maybe
Whoa, what?
Pebble,
It was kind
set
of
up.
well, other than like the fact that it was COVID. What do you mean the golf? Like, it was the golf course lame, or just because it was COVID?
Winged Foot might have the best greens I've ever seen in my life,
Hmm.
but I don't know. The rough was way too long, and the fairways were way too narrow. You can't have both, in my opinion. This isn't a freaking 2020 U.S. Open recap, but uh, the fact that the fairways were so narrow and the rough was so long, it just made it so, yeah, the two longest hitters in the game, Matt Wolff and Bryson, just decimated everybody because
Oh,
everyone was missing the fairway and it was just a wedge fest for them out of the rough, while most other players were having to hit like, 8, 7 irons out of there.
Matt Wolf is a name I haven't heard in a while, man.
He fell off so hard.
Is he out fishing with DJ? Has he
We
been
all
even
know
pl
what fishing means.
has
But hey,
he
God.
listen,
been
the
playing well
answer
at all on the Live Tour?
is he on the live tour?
Yeah.
If we're talking about Matt Wolff on live, I think it's a good time to wrap it up. We've been going for 2 hours almost.
But hey, listen, I have an idea to make courses like Winged Foot playable and like fair. And you gotta like do the gradual rough system. We gotta go hard with that. Further you go down the fairway, longer the rough gets. Give the rough a little low taper fade, right? Down the
I
fairway.
like that idea, except but you have spectators lining every hole, so they're just gonna trample it down.
Yeah, but they're still rough that they hit into.
Yeah, but then
Yeah,
wouldn't you just want to miss the fair? Like, wouldn't
I
you just
wish
want to
more
start
golf
aiming at
courses.
patrons?
I don't know. Maybe that was just a poor championship for Winged Foot, but um, I don't know. I wish more courses would just be like, huh, why is Augusta so great? And just be like, oh, it's because there's not a single blade of rough out there. They have the first cut, which honestly they could get rid of that too. Like that's kind of a new thing over the last couple decades that they introduced. Um, just yeah, let the ball roll on the ground, give guys angles, let them play angles, and let them try to hit recovery shots if they are out of place on these holes, and let the greens and all the contours and the water, the contours rolling into the water, be the challenging part of the golf course, not just this general rough, and be like, oh, see, the course is hard because it's hard to hit out of this rough. There's a few exceptions like Oakmont, but I don't know. When I watched Wingfoot, I was just like, I'm just watching every guy play every hole the exact same, and it was just boring. But the
Tee
thing is, I
shot
watch
rough green.
I watch every minute of coverage from Thursday through Sunday, so it gets so when it's something like that so repetitive and really bothers me, and it's so boring. But for a Sunday, yeah, it's great. But
You're
we
one of the
need to
few
wrap
people
this
who
up.
does that.
Say that one more time.
Said you're one of the few people that does that.
I
You're
know,
in the
I
Yeah,
know,
I don't
0.1%.
I
have
know.
I don't have the mental
It's
stability to sit there and watch
I
golf
know,
for
I know.
6 hours. Not more than that. What? How long is golf coverage? See, that's how bad it is. I don't even know how long golf coverage is.
It normally comes on. Well, I don't.
I know it switches
What
from
ESPN has done
broadcast to
an amazing
broadcast.
job having bonus coverage in the mornings on ESPN Plus. So I wake up early. I watch that. I watch feature groups on that, and then when the main coverage comes on, typically I'll turn to that around noon, Western Pacific time. But yeah, I understand. I am kind of in the minority. Most people just want that bunch leaderboard on Sunday, so this is perfect for them. But in terms of like true major test competition, whatever, place like Pinehurst, a place like Oakmont is the jam. But or Augusta. Anyway, we should wrap this up, guys. This was a blast. 2 hours. Uh, Scottie Scheffler is a god, best player to ever live. Not named Tiger Woods, maybe. We bow, we bow to Scott.
Oh, you guys bowing to me for my PGA Championship win there?
Exactly.
Fabulous.
It's just
Yeah.
honestly, finally time that you joined the club. You know, took a
It
while, but
yeah, sure did. But better late than never.
yes, we miss Carson. We hope he's having fun in Mexico with his family. We will see him next time we do this pod, I would imagine, whether that's recapping
We'll see
another
you for the
PGA Tour event.
2027 US Open at Pebble.
Nah, we'll see it. We'll
He
see
might not
it.
survive. I think he might be belligerently drunk. Who knows?
Can we get a live from Mexico? Insert here from
Yeah,
Carson.
I'll try to get a quick video of him to stitch into this, but I have a feeling that's not going to happen. He's probably face down in the Gulf of America right now.
Mhm.
Wow, forgot about that. Political. Well,
Not to them,
yeah.
it's still the Gulf of Mexico. Anyway, not a pod, not a political pod. We will see you next time.
Thoughts out to Joe Biden.
Yeah, R.I.P. to the guy. Can we talk about the tariffs though? I mean, Jesus.